Back to the program. Thanks for staying with us. Listening to my guests, it almost sounds like running Nairobi is more difficult than running the country. But we have to find a way forward, which is why we are discussing which way forward for Nairobi. And of course, the busy entry of Governor Anne Kananu. And we're also seeing a lot of your feedback. 22422 is that SMS line. Hashtag is Newsnight. Let's take a look at what Kenyans and Nairobians are saying this evening. Okay, let's start with... It's Brown. You say Nairobi being the heart of most Kenyans, it shouldn't be among the counties. It should be governed by national government, period. Okay, that's your view. Carrington Mwendwa, you say, though it was a blow to Mike Sonko after the Court of Appeal cleared the way for Anne Kananu to be sworn in as Nairobi governor, it is too late. Putting into consideration, we only have 9 months to the 2022 elections. All right, what else are Kenyans saying this evening? Chester Nyantika, you say, I agree as opined by Philip Kisia that counties should be run and managed akin to well-established companies. But I remind you folks that political goodwill is key, however much a governor may be an astute manager. Okay, thanks Chester for that. Asamo, you say Nelson Harvey is saying Anne Kananu is a product of an unconstitutional entity which is far-fetched. Supreme Court ruled on the issue. He should move on. Okay. Y.S. Tony, you say, for the new Nairobi governor, Machiavelli stresses that a prince must learn to imitate both the fox and the lion, so that he may draw on the necessary attributes of these beasts when circumstances demand it. Nairobi demands as such. So one moment you are a fox, next you're a lion. Let me read some SMSs that I have here. Somebody says, Edwin Nyakweba, who are these cartels? We always talk about how they've taken Nairobi hostage. Are they not politicians and financiers? Dare I say political leadership in Kenya is a profit-making investment. So whichever way, the investor must gain. Fred Obachi Machoka has also sent in his feedback, and he says, if indeed we have a cartel that is so vicious, to a point of killing anyone, threatening their evil operations in the city, shouldn't we all be supportive of the continuation of the NMS until the cartel is decimated totally? And let me pick one more here. Let me see here what you're saying here. Let me just see through these SMSs. Someone says here, when I hear a conversation starting amongst politicians saying, let's look up and pray, I get worried, but no name there. I don't know who you're talking about in this. And a few of you are saying Nairobi County needs NMS. Pushing out NMS now will be chaotic and destroy the gains that have been made so far. Nelson Harvey, President LSK, let me give you a chance to respond to this. Again, questions about the constitutionalism and the legality of where we find ourselves in at this time. But also just to get your thoughts then on what happens after the next election. Will whoever will be governor post-August then find themselves with a national government that could, having looked at past trends, also decide again to seek for a similar arrangement?
Well, let me emphasize the position I've always held is that NMS is an unconstitutional enterprise. And Governor Anne Kananu has been transplanted into that enterprise. Look, coups happen all over the world. So we may take General Mbadi's term for the last 2 years as a military junta, which must always pave way to civilian rule. And it's for that reason that I say, much as I deprecate what has happened, let Kananu be babysitted by the general for the next few months until the 25th of February 2022. Whereafter the general must cede the governance of Nairobi County
President,
government.
These are adults you're talking about. I think terms like babysitter are...
It's okay, Wahiga. I don't think Anne Kananu is that delicate. She understands what I mean. So that after that period of time, she should get full civilian powers to continue serving the county government of Nairobi. And it's for good purpose, because it will be a short period of time before we go to the general elections. We don't want the interface between the military rule of General Mbadi and of the governor that will be elected on the 9th of August 2022. It's for good order that this must be done. But in the intervening period, for whatever it's worth, let the general assist Anne Kananu, learn and get the wherewithal of doing this thing. Because as a matter of fact, and as my sister Beatrice Elachia said, there are so many cartels in Nairobi, and she needs a lot of support within this caretaker period for her to learn and get her sail proper to reach shore.
Okay, speaking of support, this is a side note, and Kenyans are asking me, don't let Nelson Harvey leave the studio without asking him. Some Kenyans ask you this evening why you're not in Canada or Berlin supporting Miguna to come home. And they're saying, don't let him leave without getting a response from him. Can we get a response from you on that?
Yeah, thank you. A very valid question. On the 22nd of, on the 12th of November, it was our expectation that the High Court will lift the red alert so that Dr. William Mutunga and I will fly to Germany to accompany Miguna back. For two reasons, we were not able to travel. One, it took long for us to process our visas. Dr. William Mutunga's Canadian visa was released yesterday, so there's no way he will have flown. My appointment for the German embassy visa application was scheduled for the 1st of December. But that notwithstanding...
Was scheduled for the 1st of December?
1st of December, yes, next month. So
you did not understand the urgency with which you needed to travel?
Well, we must respect the protocols in other offices. We can't just force them to do our bidding. But what is most important is this. The failure by the court to remove the red alert is the reason as to why Miguna did not travel. And perhaps it was for good reason that we remained here, because yesterday we drafted yet another application to enable us have those red alerts removed, because now the issue is no longer in the realm of speculation. The entire world watched yesterday as Miguna was denied permission to board Air France. So that the argument that had been put before the court last time by the Attorney General and Air France, first by the Attorney General that we have not issued red alerts, and second by Air France that if there are any red alerts, then the order for removal must be directed against the government of Kenya. So we'll be in court tomorrow at 3 to argue this case.
Okay.
And if we succeed, it is expected that Miguna will fly from Berlin to Paris and then from Paris to Nairobi. So we have not let down the general. The generals here in Nairobi, Dr. William Mutunga and Nelson Harvey, took a tactical move to ensure that this exercise is completed.
So he stays put in Berlin waiting for...
Yes.
For that. Okay. This is a conversation you'd have fit in well. I believe in 2017 he was looking for the Nairobi Senate seat. I'm not going to ask you about Miguna. As we wrap up this conversation, looking forward, what qualities should Nairobians be looking for a governor beyond 2022? As we wrap up this conversation, what would you say
thank you.
Regarding that?
I think these are some of the basic qualities that Nairobians should be looking for in the person of governor. Because the governor of the county of Nairobi is a man who is running almost half of this country.
Or a woman.
Or a woman, man, woman, okay? It could be my sister Lachi. So, one, that person must have sound managerial skills. If you don't have them, please, you're bound for failure. It's like giving a human being, man or woman, to pilot you to London, and is not a qualified pilot. Will you get into that aircraft? I doubt whether you will. So why would you hand over Nairobi to someone who doesn't have that managerial skill? Trained manager and experienced with a proven track record. Number two, that person, because and I agree with one of the viewers who said that, it's a mixture of management and politics. And so you must be able to cut across. So that person, again, should have sound leadership skills. You're leading 5 million people during the day and about maybe 3.5, 4 million at night. So if you don't have that skill, leadership skill, you are bound to fail. The other one, integrity. If you have a questionable past, for heaven's sake, I would advise people of Nairobi to avoid such a person like plague. Finally.
How is the integrity tested? What personal example did you face yourself when you were in office?
First of all, I was interviewed by Public Service Commission. I went through the tests and to confirm that that I'm as clean as a peeled potato. I have not been seeking services from Harvey. So, but the last one.
Not everyone who seeks services from Harvey is guilty.
I'm just using Harvey as
sound like the devil's advocate.
I'm using Harvey as an example.
Yes.
He's my very good friend and my brother. In fact, when I was vying for if we had not run to court, and if you had held elections in February this year, Harvey was one of my supporters. He had given me his endorsement.
Yes.
Okay. So the last one is about passion. You can't say you're a billionaire and you want to come and run the city. So you are not driven by any other thing. You just want to be a servant leader. You just want to provide servant leadership. So if you don't have a passion to serve, if you don't have a passion to serve Nairobians, again, Nairobians must be looking very carefully. Has this person ever demonstrated that he can provide leadership for the people of Nairobi? Has he even been a chairman of a residential association? Has he or has she? Let's start from the basics. Have you been a chairman of Nyumba Kumi? You can't be nothing and then want to come at the top. You must have started from somewhere. You must have a track.
Briefly, because these were actually final comments. How hot is that seat? You sat on a seat similar to that. You actually exited a bit. You could have extended your tenure. How hot is that seat?
You see, I refused to extend my tenure when my boss, Honorable His Excellency Musalia Mudavadi, asked me whether I can do another 6 months. I said, I've done my 36 months, my contract ends, I leave on the day my contract ends. Why didn't I want to extend? Because it is at the tail end that the cartels become very vicious. But I'm happy that even Timothy Wanyonyi recognized the fact that I actually destroyed the cartels. I fought them. And we had gotten rid of them through developing systems, through getting EACC to come and work from City Hall. So we created a secretariat for EACC. So they are working with it. They are not working from the offices. They are working from City Hall. So developing systems and structures, this will help you manage an institution in long term. Because an institution should not be driven by the person. The person only changes the tactics. But if you don't have systems and procedures, then you're operating on a very weak sand.
Okay, fair point. CS, final thoughts on this? The man or woman that will lead Nairobi beyond 2022, how should they, whoever it will be, what do you think they will have to deal with moving forward to develop this great city and county?
First, Nairobi, we should not look now at what tribe you're coming from. The first thing we need to appreciate is that, are you able to just manage Nairobi? Are you, which is very difficult, a person who is willing to dedicate yourself? Nairobi needs somebody who will dedicate himself. If you're going there to know where mashambas of leases are and how you're going to take them, oh, how am I going to do the businesses of bars? Oh, how am I going to ensure the parkings are part of my parkings? Then you're not coming to run Nairobi. Or how will I ensure that what was of Nairobi water should now go to private hands? You're not coming to run Nairobi. If you're not coming to Nairobi to sacrifice and bring back what has been taken that has been wrongly taken, then you don't deserve to run Nairobi. So we need a person who not is coming to fight with businessmen on how you have half billboards and they have half billboards, or how I'll have some kiosks in town and all the tents of shoe shinings and everything are mine. You're not coming to run Nairobi. You're coming to finish us to where we are. So we need a person who is willing. Am I willing to dedicate this city to bring it back to its glory and bring it back to where it's supposed to go? But having said that also, you need to ask yourself, am I going to have a good team that will help me do this? Or am I going to get again a team that will be wanting the things I don't want? And so we will go into conflict, and every day you have conflict. Then the last thing is, it's very interesting on how people, I like the way Kenyans, I realize Kenyans love people when they're in power. Because when they're in power, they evolve around, they come immediately. I want to tell my governor, everyone you saw there is not your friend. They surrounded Sonko. When Sonko left, where is he? So you have to learn your lessons. Don't assume. Oh, don't think I'm so good now. You're not good. To them, they are looking at, I am back to do the same business I have been doing. They will leave me here. It is that narrative we always have. You will come, you will leave us, we will continue. So if she wants now to move my governor, I know the guy said a red flag. Yes, that red flag takes you even to fasting. It's not a joke.
You would advise her to fast?
Oh, yes. Because every woman, in leadership, we normally say, women sometimes we are given institutions when they know that institution is in the drain, is insolvent, so that the woman will bring back this institution to glory. Now, if you don't understand that, that is how it's a gift maybe we've been given by God, that you have to take the harder part. And so this is the hardest part, because the social fabric of Nairobi today, social fabric, which is very critical, which also has been neglected because also NMS doesn't understand how to deal with social fabric. And that is what, she is our mother, she has to go into that social fabric. Go and heal the souls you hear in Kikomba. Ask yourself today, what can I do for the first time when I walk in, that Kikomba in my legacy should not burn, that I am able to fence Kikomba and bring back the Kikomba, make an open market, let everyone who has been in that Kikomba survive the way they've been surviving and do their businesses, but should never go through the pain they have gone in. So I think she should be asking, will I have that? Will I be able to walk into Madare? Will I be able to walk in Korocho, in Mukuru? And if NMS have decided they want to do roads, can they do the roads? But you cannot just bring out people and then in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, the road has not been done. It's not fair. If you want to do the roads, remove people. They will appreciate when they see the road.
All this you're saying is a 9-month
I don't know. That's why I'm saying also you can't do everything, but you have to work as a team, but you must pick. That's why I say pick something simple, but people will see that change and people will appreciate that change.
Finally, in one sentence, any idea of her deputy governor possibilities?
Oh, as I really close, I need to tell my governor, you need to face the authority that is called His Excellency, my President, and sit down and get your deputy governor. Get things moving together. That's why I said, if indeed we have good and goodwill for our governor, by Friday, we should be having to see a meeting has been done together with all the MCAs.
Okay.
Both of them of handshake.
You don't have a guess?
I have no guess.
No guess on the deputy governor.
But it can also be a very critical agenda. They should not assume because you want to see your handshake move. So let it be something that brings you together, but it should not take you away again, so that you start sorting out deputy governors before you think. And also the chief officers.
Yes.
Right now we have in Nairobi County, one chief officer running 4 dockets. Now you are a substantive governor. Please put the chief officers, each one in each docket.
Noted. Kisi, I never asked you this. Deputy governor, any thoughts on who that might be?
Well, I have no idea.
You're waiting like everybody else?
I have no idea. I'm waiting for the powers that be to decide who the deputy governor would be.
Not the governor, but the powers that be.
The powers that be. You know, as my brother Harvey said, you know, her hands are tied. Let's be honest, her hands are tied. So whoever she's given, we are hoping that she'll be given a good person who can help her to navigate between now and 25th of February. And then, of course, from February up to the elections.
Harvey, in your parting shot, it sounds like Nairobi is run via remote control. If you were to listen to the...
and for good reason. And speaking of that, it should be an insight to the people of Nairobi. All of us have documented the mistakes that were made in 2017 when the people of Nairobi went to the ballot. What should we do now? You see, Nairobi is the capital of this country. It's a high time that the middle class, the elite, the people with the ability to understand the problems of now and tomorrow, realized the need for them to come out and vote and make good choices. Because often, when we end up with a calamitous leadership as the one that led to the transfer of the functions of the county government to the national government, the installation of NMS, then we realize the people who suffer are not just those who are enticed to vote because of their lack of means, but all of us. So the middle class, the upper class, the elite must realize that the function of choosing and electing leaders should not be left to those who are given tokens. No. You must register, you must vote for you to be effectively represented in Nairobi and all over Kenya.
Finally, in 10 seconds, are you concerned that another regime could in the future hand over their functions to the national government again with what has been done already?
It should not happen. You see, the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta has embarked on a perilous enterprise of militarizing everything. Let this be the last coup insofar as devolved government is concerned. We agreed to put a civilian in office to manage the affairs of county governments. Yes, Nairobi is a special county, but we need to find ways of ensuring that we have good leaders in office. You understand? People like my friend here, Philip Kisia, people like my MP, Tim Wanyonyi, and any other individuals with a proven track record.
You've left out CS Alachi.
My sister will be going for Dagoretti. So let her finish Dagoretti as those who are going for Nairobi County do. And this is fundamental. You see, you must demonstrate who you are. We know who Kisia is. We know who Beatrice Elachi is. We know what they have done 20 years before. Now, if an individual comes and wants to be the governor of Nairobi, and you can't trace where he or she has been for the last 20 years, then you make a choice to have him or her in office. You will only blame yourself. I hope you understand, Wahiga. And the same goes for Westlands constituency.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was going to stop you there before you campaign. We're going to leave it there. NSK President Nelson Harvey, today wearing a slightly different hat. We'll have him back on when we're talking legal matters on another day. Thank you so much for your time today. It's good to see you, Philip Kisi, after a long time on this show. Thank you for joining us today. And of course, Beatrice Elachi, always glad to have you here to help us understand what is happening in this city and county called Nairobi. And of course, to our viewers, thanks for having stayed tuned for that discussion, really understanding what's going on. And to the Governor Anne Kananu, we need an interview with you just to really understand. There is a lot happening that you will need to handle. A busy time, according to the procedures in law. And here at Citizen TV, we will keep you updated on all that as it's happening. Well, on behalf of the whole team that's made this broadcast possible, and of course, our sign language interpreter, Wilson Mushora, busy keeping you updated on that as well. Thank you for having tuned in. My name is Wahiga Mwaura. Have a good night. Stay safe. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.